Hello everyone and welcome back to Inside ArtScroll, where the books you read and the people who write them come to life. Today it's a unique privilege to be sitting with Rabbi Shai Graucher, close Talmud of the gadol Maran Rav Chaim Kanievsk. We're sitting here just several weeks after Rav Chaim's Ptira. So it's a privilege to speak to you, but it's also difficult because it's hard to put into words exactly what you're feeling. Tell us, what is it that's going through your mind? Reb Chaim became such an important part of your life. You spent literally years at 23 Rechov Rashbam in Bnei Brak. Tell the world, what's Shai Graucher feeling today?
So first of all, when I flew Motzei Shabbos, leaving Israel, I had a minhag that every single time before I fly, I'm going to the Rebbe to get a bracha. I think that 40, 50 times, one time Reb Chaim told me not to fly. And of course, after I saw that was a miracle, but just going on a plane and not passing, I went to the grave. I say Tehillim, but not getting the bracha. And Reb Chaim's smile, it was hard. It's a feeling that you lost everything you had. Reb Chaim wasn't just, of course, a Talmid Chacham, a Rebbe. Reb Chaim was our father. Reb Chaim was our doctor. Reb Chaim was our lawyer. Every single thing, every single question, whatever we needed, whatever we had, we went to Reb Chaim. And Reb Chaim didn't speak a lot. It was a word, 2 words, a smile, yes, no, bua. But that was Reb Chaim. That was our life, and it's very, very hard. It's not easy, but coming here and even not believing that on the new Sefer, on the Siddur, it says Zatzal, but for sure that's the Nechama. Nechama of continuing and doing what the Rav told us to do. And that was important for him, to be Marbit Sorah for Klal Yisrael, day and night. Because I always told people, and everybody's asking me on the plane and wherever I go, Reb Chaim, I'm telling everybody, Reb Chaim could have locked his door, being in his house, learning day and night. Every single moisad, every single charity, whenever they came to Reb Chaim, and they used to ask him for a kavittel, where they're going to Gdaven, Kever Rochel, Koisel, Reb Chaim always used to write, Shitnu li limod, they should let me learn. Mm-hmm. And
on that note, let me ask you, the last time we had a conversation, we did an interview, we reminisced a little about the history of how you got involved and you became a Ben Bayis by the gadol, which is quite unique. How many years is it since you first went?
So the first time was 18 years ago.
18?
18 years ago. And when we started Orchos with ArtScroll,
right,
then that was the secret key to get in. Of course, with the Gedalia.
With tremendous persistence and even a little chutzpah, you went to Reb Chaim's house, you started hanging out there, somehow you became a Ben Bayis. Many people probably wonder or ask you, Reb Shai, it's very nice that you want to have a kesher to the gadol, but where do you get the audacity to just sit there with him? There's a picture that went around after the Ptira of you sitting with Reb Chaim on Erev Yom Kippur, I think a few hours before Kol Nidrei. Both of you were wearing your kittel, and you're saying Tehillim, and people probably wonder to themselves, who has the chutzpah to sit at the table or gadol? What would you say to those people?
So I'll tell you a ma'aseh that I had. There was a person that had a problem in his business, and he called me that he needs a eitzah, he needs a bracha from Reb Chaim, the gadol hador. So I went to Reb Chaim the first time and I said, that's the situation. What should he take up on himself, a sgula, that he should have menuchas hanefesh? So Reb Chaim said, he should learn Shas. I went back to the guy, learn Shas was hard. And then I went 2 days later, and I'm asking the same question, the same name. Reb Chaim, shilmat Shas. I called the guy says, listen, me to learn Shas, not going to happen. But I have an eitzah, we'll take Avrechim, and the Avrechim will learn the Shas, and they'll get the schus. They'll give the guy the schus. He's going to pay it. And the schus is going to give him the menuchas hanefesh, the zgula. So I went back and I told Reb Chaim, says, learn Shas. I said, Arav, if the guy takes a Rechim and he pays the money, will he get the schus? No. U be'atzmo. I said, aval ze kashe. Reb Chaim said, and this maise, Reb Chaim says, there's no koshi. Yatchil v'yelech. If you have ratzon, things work out. You're going to get there. You're going to get there. And that was one story. But Reb Chaim always, he didn't say, en dover oemed b'fnei harotzon, but you saw in every single day, every single morning, when he woke up after Chatzois, when I used to come 1 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, every single step, ein dover oemed b'fnei harotzon. So that's what we saw. And I think and I believe that seeing it and being there and trying and pushing, that was the power, and I wanted. It wasn't easy.
Did anyone mind that you were kind of there all day, every day? You know, did you ever get any pushback from anyone?
Let's not go into this, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And Baruch Hashem,
Did Reb Chaim ever make comments to you that, you know, Reb Shai, you're here all the time? Did Reb Chaim ever
he used to say a lot, Baruch She Patrani, and blah, 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 like kind of things that, okay, you asked enough today, but
in a nice way, he would tell you.
But it was a special feeling. It was a special kesher, and it's the biggest chus I ever had to be there day and night, special the last days, and Purim, every Chag. It was special.
After the Ptira, you know, thousands, maybe, I don't know how many videos went out of Reb Chaim doing this, saying that. Many of them featured you asking the Rav different questions. But perhaps the most poignant video that people were very moved by is the famous video of Reb Chaim and his Rebbetzin saying Birchas HaShachar, answering Amen to each other. There was such a unique dynamic in their marriage. Tell us about that. What did you learn from Reb Chaim and his Rebbetzin about the relationship between husband and wife? Obviously, they were each malachim in their own way. But what did you see that you could share with us?
It was so. First of all, I didn't see much because in that years when the Rebbetzin was with the Rav, I had very, very small period of time being there. But what I heard, and also the Rav a few times spoke, it was the Rebbetzin was mevatel herself, her life for the Rav, and it doesn't matter how. I remember the Rebbetzin having tremendous pain. Even the last Yom Kippur, tremendous pain, and like she didn't let the Rav feel any single thing that she knew if he'll know it's gonna bother him. Mm-hmm. It's gonna make him feel, I don't know if he's gonna stop learning, but it's not just the learning, it was the eichut. She came from a house of Rav Yashiv, and that was her whole life. To be mevatel herself to the Rav with nothing. She didn't go to weddings because the Rav needs to eat. She didn't go to her friends. Whatever the Rav needed, she was there. And that's how close they were, and how special this house, that with all the pain, with all the learning, everything, they gave this. I'm not gonna call it love or something, but they gave the chesed, the tremendous amount of ein toiva, and just giving and giving and giving. And you
saw that the other way around also. It was well publicized that Reb Chaim would never start eating until the Rebbetzin came.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
because he showed a tremendous amount
kavod
for her.
Tremendous amount of kavod, and they always say, you want to have kavod, it starts in the house. Outside it's very, very easy,
right. But
inside the house, bechadar chadarim, inside when they were there, that was something you cannot find it today. It's.
Right. Now, after you started becoming a Ben Bayis in Reb Chaim's house, the last decade or so, really, Reb Chaim didn't speak that much. Right? He was very frugal in his words. And yet, Kanai Nohara, you've been Zeicha, together with ArtScroll, to put out Sefer, if the Sefer, from Archas Yosher to Reb Chaim on Chumash, to Reb Chaim on Tehillim, and now the newest Sefer is Reb Chaim on Siddur. And many people may be wondering, Reb Shai, where in the world are you getting all this material from a gadol who was sitting and learning the whole day? Where did you manage to collect all this material from Reb Chaim?
So first of all, there's a tremendous amount of letters that Reb Chaim has on every single subject in the Torah.
Reb Chaim wrote letters to other people?
He used to write letters. People used to ask him. Every single person he used to answer. And every single letter can be 10 questions, 20 questions, 2 questions, and all the letters are saved. So,
but these are letters that he answered to people.
Answered to people.
So someone made a copy of them before he mailed them?
No, they used to send the copies. But the original letters, the family has it.
The original letter the family's held on.
And there's a lot of materials. Every single letter is saved. So besides this, his son, Rabbi Shai, that was with him 11 years in the house, day after day, and didn't leave him, he has all the letters and all the materials, and we took this and basically we put it into Sforim. He gave us materials. He's the one who, every single sefer that comes out, every single story, he goes through it. He knows every story.
Rabbi
Shai.
And also you have hundreds of stories, literally hundreds of stories. And that
doesn't end. It doesn't end.
So that's coming from Yitzchak Shol primarily?
A lot of them. Also Einikos that are helping us. There's a few Einikos that help us to put out all the Sforim, bringing more materials. We have people that used to eat their Shabbases. The Rav used to say stories.
During the Suda?
Yeah, during the Suda. So we got a lot of things from there. So we have a lot, and we're just warming up.
You're just warming up.
It's not.
You're saying there's still a lot more to come from.
There's so many. There's so many.
Wow.
There's some here. We finished this Siddur for Yom Chol. Siddur for Shabbos is getting ready right now.
And this Sefer, which just came out, Reb Chaim on Siddur, was really supposed to come out anyway. Before the Rav Tira.
But Reb Gedalia Zlotowitz had right away, he said, I have to give nechama for the mishpacha. I have to give nechama, and it really, really gave nechama. Not only for the mishpacha, for the son, for the Einikos, it really gave nechama for Klal Yisrael. People having the Siddur. And Reb Chaim, I used to daven with him kimat every day, but especially in the 40 days of Rosh Chodesh Elul until Yom Kippur. And you saw there's a lot of things to say about Reb Chaim, but moine mois, with his finger in the Siddur, word after word. He didn't daven long. You didn't see his hands flying in the air. You didn't see something, I didn't see Reb Chaim crying.
Right.
When he
used
to
learn a lot of drama.
Yeah, he daven, but he daven ke'eved lifnei Rabbi. Kemoine mois. Tefillah by him was so important.
Now it's interesting, I pointed out last time, these svarim that you're putting out with ArtScroll in English is brand new material that was never put out in Lashon Kodesh, right?
A few of the things was putting out, like the Chumashim we took from Reb Chaim Sefer, Time of the Crow, the vorts that are, but a lot of the things are new material.
Let's say this Reb Chaim on Siddur, this is new material. It's not a translated Sefer.
No.
Which is unbelievable. Why would you think to go to the English demographic before you would publish a Sefer in Lashon Kodesh for Israelis?
First of all, we took so many things. If it's the Zmiras Shabbos and Tehillim and the comments, the emails, and the amount of people that are enjoying it, and a person is sitting in America and he wants to get close to Rechov Rashbam 23. It's hard to get close.
Right.
So people feeling by learning Reb Chaim stuff and hearing the stories and listening to the stories and all these things together and having a nice vort, I felt that it's very, very important.
It's interesting you mentioned how everyone felt close to Reb Chaim.
Everyone.
It's an amazing thing.
Everyone.
Right after the Ptira, people started sending around pictures of themselves with Reb Chaim. They posted on different platforms. Every person started posting. And originally, it bothered me a little bit. Here you have the gadol's nifter, and all a person cares about is that he once went to Reb Chaim 10 years ago with his brim up, and that's the picture he's posting. So it rubbed me the wrong way, but only for a minute. Because I quickly realized that was the way that people were associating with Reb Chaim. Every single person felt the connection to Reb Chaim. was an unbelievable thing. I don't recall such a thing where every single person felt, I was by Reb Chaim, I got a bracha from Reb Chaim, I got a picture from Reb Chaim. For you it's mamish like family because you live there. But everyone really felt that unique kesher, right?
Everybody felt. You're saying an amazing thing. I had the same thoughts in the beginning, right after, like, even before Shabbos, people started to post pictures. But that's exactly Reb Chaim. Reb Chaim gave love to other peoples. I'm not talking just about Rabboni, Rosh Yeshivas, Rosh Koila. I'm speaking about the people from the army, the people from people that came without
different
a yarmulke.
Communities.
A guy that flew with me in El Al, and he saw me with a sefer. He's not Shomer Torah mitzvahs, and he has a daughter that's not feeling good. Who's this? What's this? Can you please take me? And you take him, and a guy starts to be closer to Shabbos, closer to mitzvahs.
Wow.
And that's from Arifur Shleima. 2 words that Reb Chaim told him. 2 words, and he told him what to do. Say to him, how many prokim? 1 parak. Reb Chaim knew, he saw, what should I tell this guy? How should I tell this? And you just felt love. Reb Chaim gave people love. And it's not, and even when he didn't speak, when people just came into the room.
They felt mechuzak, right? They felt
mechuzak. To see Reb Chaim.
It's interesting because in Eretz Yisrael, even the non-Haredi, non-Frum communities had a tremendous haracha for Reb Chaim. They all respected Reb Chaim. It was like a very, very unique
Motzei Shabbos, when the body was in his room, in the room. I'm very, very close to Bibi Netanyahu. And he came there. He said, I need this preda. And he comes there and he's only talking about the one time that he came to Reb Chaim. He remembers every single detail. And it's not only him. It's every single person that ever came to Reb Chaim. You cannot forget the moment, the excitement, the kesher, the smile, the love. That was gadol hador. Reb Chaim, I'm telling the whole world.
It's such an interesting thing that I'm speaking to you now for quite a few minutes, and we're talking about the masmid hador. We're talking about the goyin hador, who knew kol HaTorah kula, but I keep hearing from you about his ahava and his chesed.
So I'm telling everybody,
which
it was Sarah Torah and Sarah Chesed.
Yeah.
In the same level. It cannot be different. That was Reb Chaim. I'm not talking about every single matching. Today everything is matching. They're raising for buildings and they're doing campaigning. There's no campaign, and that's a guy that's working in this campaign and telling me there's no campaign in the Haredi world that didn't start in Reb Chaim's house. A word. What's going to be Zoichet? This one who's going to help. Whoever's going to donate it. Ashirus, Parnasa, Kol Tuv, Atzlocha. Every single... Reb Chaim didn't go and ran and, snooze, you have to learn. If you're not going to learn, he didn't do these things. He sat in his house. He spoke in his bar mitzvah and in his wedding. He didn't speak.
Right.
He didn't speak. He sat down, a word, a letter, and that's it. The ganze oilam it starts here and it ends here. And there's nothing to change. You know how many times people tried, even in COVID, when there was the hardest questions. Doctors are sitting in the room. Doctors. And I'm standing on the side. Of course, they wanted to throw me out of the room. I said, I'm not moving.
Okay.
And you see them explaining to Reb Chaim this thing, or the vaccine came, everything, and Reb Chaim decides, and zeu zeh.
The final word.
Done. You cannot move him. Whatever he decided.
People wonder, and I think it's a legitimate question to ask, for us to try to understand. Reb Chaim was mufka from Olam Hazeh.
Mufka, go
right, mamish.
Mufka,
he
go
didn't. He bedafka wanted it that way. There are many stories that say that he tried to forget.
He
things.
davened. He said, I'm davening. He said it a few times. Yeah. I'm davening that I should have in my mind only Torah, nothing else.
Mili da'alma? No,
nothing else.
Not street names.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. So people ask, how did someone like Reb Chaim have the ability to so effectively guide Klal Yisrael on very, very complicated matters?
They came, they explained this.
Politics.
They explained the Shaila. And that time Reb Chaim saw, his Gemara is open, he's giving an answer, and zeh, it's finished, it's done. there's nothing to talk about.
So where did that come from?
Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh, whatever Reb Chaim said, came out of... Reb Chaim says, there's a famous letter 8 years ago that someone's asking Reb Chaim, how come a person is coming now for a shidduch, a person doesn't have children, this one grow your beard, this one avdol on wine, this one give tzedakah to yeshiva. Every single say Tehillim, learn kiddushin. Every single person gets a different answer. So he wrote, Kol ma sheyoytze mipi min hashamayim. Whatever comes out of my mouth is from above. He wrote it. There's a letter.
In Orchos Yosher, he writes about this
and
also,
in Orchos Yosher, and Ruach HaKodesh, he writes,
right.
When you come to gadol, sometimes you see this one gets this answer. He says it depends how much emunah you have when you come to ask the gadol. Mm-hmm. Between me and you, everybody knows when a person stands himself with a siddur and he has a pure emunah. Chaim told me a few times. It's important. It's not even a question. Chaim went. Mm-hmm. But when a person has emunah, that the siddur, he's davening now, and Hashem is answering, so he sees a Yeshua.
A strange question, and I hope it's appropriate to ask. Was Reb Chaim self-aware? Did he know that the whole world revolved around him? That the Olam HaTorah looked to him? Did he know that?
You're asking the question. I don't know if somebody knows the answer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if somebody knows the answer, but probably the real answer is no. Mm. He
knew that people were coming every day.
People were coming. He went to places. 20,000. You know, the last event, people are sitting. He's sitting and learning. 10, 20,000 people are, and he's sitting and learning. Mm. That's what he has in his life. Nothing else. Before he went, they told him. There's a few times they told him, Arav, or Saba, Abba, we're taking you here, there. You know, so they explained to him, it's going to give a big chizuk. Like, in that moment when he was sitting in a big hall with 20,000 people, chizuk, I don't really know what he felt that time. Mm-hmm. But he just wanted to learn. Just wanted to learn.
Now, you've heard many, many stories. You've written many stories. What's the story that you've heard of late? Especially now, you're probably being bombarded with material, people calling you. What's a story that jumps out in your mind that's like unique? Everyone knows the grasshopper story. We know
every story is unique. Every story is special. Every single thing is the $2 story, you know.
No, what's that?
So that the grandson told me that Reb Chaim used to have a tzedakah and gemach, and around 22 years ago, it got stolen. Everything got stolen. The whole money got stolen. And him and the Rebbetzin, they really didn't know what's the reason, but Reb Chaim said there's a reason. Things don't happen, Stam. Mm-hmm. There's no such a thing, something happened. So then he figured out that his sister, Reb Chaim's sister, had a whole kupa with money, and she had there a $2 bill. And a $2 bill, and Reb Chaim gave it. Reb Chaim took the $2 bill and gave it. He didn't think, he said, she needed money, not a $2 bill. In that time, probably the $2 bill wasn't. And he said that the whole reason that all his money got stolen, and there was a lot of money. It was tzedakah money, gmach's money. He said only because of this story.
So what happened? The $2 bill was not his to give?
No, he took it from his sister. After that, he went back. He found the $2 bill. He went to the mishpacha. He gave it to them. On the shiva, the person came with that $2 bill to show the mishpacha. Here's the $2 bill that Reb Chaim gave back, and that was the whole reason that he said that the money was stolen.
Wow!
You see what a person? Every day we're having stories. The car, we're in the traffic. This one, we missed a flight. We're busy. The bank is not giving us the loan. We're not getting this. Reb Chaim, everything, that was his life. Thousands of stories. Everything is with a reason. Everything is not coming stam. There's no stam things. We have to think, we have to know, we have to figure it out, and we have to metaken. And that was the Rav.
Really, the underlying theme of all his tshuvas was that there's a reason that things happen.
Yeah.
And if you're makabel something on yourself,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's a gem. Mida connected mida.
You signed the COVID.
Yeah.
Every single time there was something, if there was attacks, bomb attacks, if it was COVID, he always used to give a letter. What's the siva and what do we have to be
You have to
mischazer?
be right.
And Reb Chaim gave chizuk to people. You know, I told somebody that he asked me, what was the biggest thing Reb Chaim told a person to take up on himself? I said, it's not a right question. Because Reb Chaim gave every single person a different answer. And every single person, Reb Chaim saw what he needs to have the chizuk. And not only this, Reb Chaim never told a person to do more than one thing. He said to a person, take up on yourself 10 prokim tehillim and do it. Just do it every single day. Every single day. Reb Chaim had choives. Every single person, I have loans, I have debts. Reb Chaim says, I have also chovot. I owe. What is choives? Is Yerushalmi, is Bavli, is Sifri, Sifro, Mechilta, Mishneh Berurah, Tanakh, Tehillim, every single day. Reb Chaim saw and he told people, take it and go with it. And there's nothing hard. If you'll do it, you'll be matzliach. There's nothing hard. And that was the chizuk that the Rav gave. The Rav gave people not only the bracha of the refuah or bekor, he gave people hope. He wanted people to change. Even when he told people long sleeves or have a shirt without a sign or
right.
a few things that sometimes, but the real reason, Reb Chaim, we have to change. People come Elul, Kabbalists, not to be the same person, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the whole Musar Indian. But Reb Chaim said, if you're a person that's saying every single day now, one Perek Tehillim, so you're not the same person, so you'll have a Yeshua. That was, from my eyes, again, maybe there's other reasons, but that's what I saw. That's
now,
what I
2023 Rechov Rashbam became the address, perhaps the most famous address in the Olam HaTorah. What's going to happen now with
so
the
Baruch
home?
Hashem, now we still have a netz minyan every day.
Every day in the house.
Every day, a netz minyan. And people are coming there to see the house.
It's like a museum? I mean,
same thing. Everything is the same.
People could just walk in and look around?
Basically, there's no times yet. Shachris is open. Whoever will come to Shachris will get in.
And Reb Chaim Svarim are there? All the Svarim
are there. Is everything is there. The Kedusha is not leaving. It's a Malkum Kodesh. It's staying there, and we're continuing what the Rav told us about the Svarim. And
which is what? What did he tell you about the Svarim?
That we should publish as chuvas in the right way. We're doing it in Hebrew. We have a whole machon that we open. It's called Siach Emuna. Shmar Yosef Chaim Emuna, that his son Rabbi Tzuk Shaul and his grandson Yanki are running it now and continuing it. And we're having a lot of chuvas from the Rav, and every single subject, if it's in halacha, if it's in chumash, and a lot of the stuff we're taking also to the English material. We have avrechim that are sitting and learning in it, and Be'ezrat Hashem, it's going to be a very, very big thing. And we're doing all this from the house, and whatever Reb Chaim told me, including his famous chalukas that the Rebbitzin used to do already from the Stipler, and he got it to be Yerusha, and Reb Chaim gave it to his son, Rabbi Tzok Shol, that the twice a year, before Rosh Hashanah, before Pesach, to help the families, the Bnei Torah, with giving them food and giving them what they needed. Because Reb Chaim always cared, and he wanted people to have what they needed, even if it's a smile, and even if it's real food or any single thing they needed. So the house is we have to continue it. It's not like you're saying everybody felt so close. Everybody felt that, and
they felt a connection.
For
no
sure.
question.
And
Now the last 18 years, every single time you had a shaila, a question on anything, you had an address to go to.
Address. Not only me, every single person. I used to get 30, 40 emails a day.
Right.
For every single business. There's a stock. To sell the stock, not to sell a stock. There's a guy who needs to pay now $2 million, or if not, they're throwing him to give it or not to give it.
Did Reb Chaim ever tell you, I don't know? Or did he always have an answer?
Yeah. First of all, if he didn't want to give an answer, he didn't give an answer. So he used to say, bua, bua, bua. But I didn't give up. I sat there, and it was hard for me to come to people, especially when there was really, really hard questions. Really hard, without an answer. So I was begging the Rav, And the most important thing is not only the begging and getting the answer. After a person gets the Yeshua, I used to have akpada mamish.
To go back to the
I got
Rav?
it from my father. Shebezat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yarich Yamav, my father. He told me, it's not time. My father's close to Gedolim and Rabbonim, and he told me that when he goes back to the tzaddik, and there was a few tzaddikim, I'm not going to mention his name, they stood up for my father. So they asked my father, I asked, what's going on? He says, your father doesn't only come to
Ask Shiloh.
and also when there's a good news, so we have to stand up for him. Sometimes we don't have.
So you would go back to Reb Chaim and tell him there was a Yeshua.
Time. And he always told me,
what did he say?
Al tieh birkas edyot kala beinecha. He used to smile and say it, but even Reb Chaim, a human being, sat and learned. I'm sure when he heard it, when a person didn't have children for 6 years, or a person didn't have a shidduch for 10 years, and they got the Yeshua, I don't even have a suffix that it made him feel good.
Reb Chaim had a tremendous sense of humor, apparently.
Tremendous.
It's unbelievable, because he was kol kuloi Torah, but he had that leichkeit.
All the
time. That he was able to...
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Every single time I used to ask him, especially if it was questions or broches, when I asked him that I want more children, brocha. So I told him, Arav, ani rotze od yeladim. So he said, yeladot lo tovot? Only yeladim? I said, gam. I said, I have shte banim vebat. So he says, you're going to have 2 girls now and a boy. Like he used to enjoy, he used to speak.
Right.
It was hard. It wasn't easy. Right. I'm not saying it was easy. But when you want something and you're pushing, and you have siyata dishmaya, and I don't have a suffix, that it's hard, like you said, and I still don't believe it, you know? And especially you're coming to art school and seeing the Zatzal. It's hard to see it. It's hard to believe in it. I don't know what's going to be Erev Pesach without the siyum,
right?
Without the wine.
Right.
Kol HaTorah Kula, being their nates and seeing the Rov Malach Hashem Tzivokos, finishing the whole Torah. And it's not just being in the siyum. I saw him learning every day. If it's Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Chanukah, Purim, times that, people are busy. And I'm sure with all this, that Reb Chaim is watching us from above. And he's looking at us. And he's praying for us. And if we're going to continue publishing and doing the Siddur now and the Siddur for Shabbos and more and more and more, that's going to be for sure the biggest thing for him, because that's what he wanted. That was his whole life was for him. How many Sforim Reb Chaim wrote with Kun Tracing? 122.
Really?
122.
122 Sforim.
My kesher with Reb Chaim started with writing. When I came to him first time, when he told me, we spoke about it.
Yeah.
He told me, sit and learn, but write.
Right.
Write what you're learning. He told me, write. And he wrote for him. And he wrote letters for people. And that was his life. So we need to continue it. We have to continue it. The people want chizuk. People want to have the kesher.
So you keep releasing Svarim, and I'm sure that there are people banging down your doors to sponsor the Svarim. Who wouldn't want this chus to sponsor a Sefer of Reb Chaim? How do you decide? What do you do? What's the process?
So first of all, banging at the doors is now. When we started the first time, I took loans.
Really?
We couldn't find, and I would never forget it, that I went to Reb Chaim and I told him, Rebbe, we're doing now, and we're working, and the Chumash, what's going to be? So he told me, Tzarich Schus, like you said, Tzarich Schus. We're working a month, 2 months. Gedalia calls me, no, the Sefer, what's with the dedicator? He says, we have to find them. I'm working on it. Let's see what's going to be. And really 2-3 weeks before the Sefer is coming out, I didn't know what to do. So I said, I'll go to America for one day. My father got me some meetings, and I said, I'm going to go find the sponsor. So I'm flying. I'm going to Rechov Rashbam. I go to the Rebbe. Arav, אנחנו מוציאים צריך schus. I said, Arav, Be'ezrat Hashem, they'll have a schus. But I need the money. Can you give me an eitzah? Should I grow a beard? Whatever the Rav tells me, I'll do. I'll finish Shas. So the Rav looks at me and he tells me, Al titchof. Don't push. I go to the airport and I sit in my chair with the kisviyad and stuff. I'm working on somebody sitting next to me, and we didn't even take off, and the guy took the sponsorship.
Really?
And since then, it's really, really, I feel it and I see it. And there's a lot of people who want to dedicate it. But I see that every single dedicator, there's a story. Every single dedicator. And now, I believe that the dedicators that are going to have the schus is people that Reb Chaim is now next to Kisa HaKavod. He is sending them. So now it's not going to be hard to know who's the one. But I saw tremendous, just on this I can write a book. Just on this. So Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
Reb Shai, I must tell you, I think that people are very grateful to you for two things. First of all, you said before, Ein davar omed b'fnei haratzon, and you showed people that if you really want to have a kesher with a gadol, and you spoke about your history last time, how you were the last guy in the world who should have had a shaykhis at 23 Rechov Rashbam. You were a regular kid, you were growing up, but you decided this is what I want. And look how much you gained from it. But to magnify that, out of that relationship grew so many Sifrei Kodesh, Sfarim that you're putting out. You're perpetuating Reb Chaim's legacy. You're keeping it going. And for that, Klal Yisrael is very grateful. So we thank you.
It's special, and it's a schus. It's siyata dishmaya. There's no koyach. There's nothing. It's pure siyata dishmaya, and a lot of davening with tears.
So our bracha is that the Rav should be a Melitz Yosher. For you, your Rebbetzin, your Mishpacha.
ArtScroll did. Gedalia Zlotowitz did amazing things. It's special the last year for the Kanievsk families. People know 1%. But what he did and the whole family of ArtScroll, I don't even have a suffix that this is standing. And like I told you, we're just warming up. It's going to continue, and we're going to, V'ezrat Hashem, do more and more things.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.